Alright guys, so in the comment section I have seen a couple of comments where people have asked me to talk a little bit about what tax is like in Spain, how it works and all that kind of stuff. So today's video is going to be the first in a mini series, if you like, where I talk about how tax works in Spain from a different perspective. And in this video in particular, I'm going to talk about how it works if you work for a company. You'll find this video interesting if you're perhaps working in Spain as an expat, or if you've decided to move from another country to come to Spain and work, because you can often get caught up in the lifestyle and what life in Spain is like. And then when you get paid, you wonder where half of your money goes and you don't know how the tax system works. So that's what I'm going to try and do in today's video. So let's get right into it. Welcome to Millennials with Money, my name is Johnny, and just a quick disclaimer, this video is not tax advice, it's for educational purposes only, just to give you a bit of an insight into how the Spanish tax system works. If you do need assistance with your tax, then I do recommend seeking out the help of a professional. Now that that's out the way, let's get into it. Now, when you work in Spain, your payslip will probably show the following items. Income, so your gross salary, any benefits, any bonuses. It will be followed by deductions, so taxes, social security, any contributions to a healthcare plan, private pension, etc. And then that will leave you with your net amount. So what this video is going to focus on is two main deductions from your payslip, and I'm going to focus on income tax and social security. So let's start with income tax. Now, in Spanish, income tax is known as Impuestos sobre la Renta de Personas Físicas, or IRPF as it's commonly abbreviated, so IRPF. That income tax will be automatically deducted from your payslip by the tax authorities. And the tax authority in Spain is the Agencia Tributaria, also known sometimes as Hacienda. Income tax in Spain entitles you to nothing in return. It is considered a civil obligation that anyone who generates money within Spain must pay on their income. So who needs to pay income tax in Spain? Anybody who is a fiscal resident in Spain must pay income tax to the Agencia Tributaria on any income they generate. There is, however, a way that you can be tax resident in Spain and not have to pay income tax to the Spanish authorities on income sources outside of Spain. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but just for your reference, it is known as the régimen especial. So it's a particular type of tax regime that you contribute to. So now let's find out what the tax brackets are for income tax in Spain. So just to make you aware, Spain does not have a tax-free allowance like countries like the UK have. You pay tax from your very first euro that you earn, and up to 12,450 euros, you will pay 19% tax. And the next tax bracket, on anything you earn between 12,450 euros and 20,200 euros, you will pay 24% tax. The next bracket goes up to 35,200 euros, and anything in that bracket that you earn, you'll pay 30% tax on. The fourth bracket goes up to 60,000 euros, and you'll pay 37% tax on that. And in the fifth bracket, you'll pay 45% on anything you earn above 60,000 euros. Now, this is where it gets interesting because these are the current tax rates. But in 2022 on 2021 incomes, there will be a sixth bracket introduced, which means that you will pay 47% on anything you earn above 300,000 euros. And now, to make things even more interesting, what I just outlined to you is the national reference for income tax. In reality, it could actually be higher and it could actually be lower. Why is that, you ask? Because the real income tax you pay will be made up partially of a quota set by the government and partially of a quota set by the autonomous community that you live in, so the region of Spain that you live in. What you'll see now is the corresponding tax that the autonomous communities choose to apply on each of those brackets if you're resident in that autonomous community. So what we'll do now is we'll go back to that bank inter table that I showed you just before, and we'll substitute in a couple of autonomous communities just so you can see how that plays out in practice. So let's take the example of Madrid and Catalonia. So if you look at the table right now, you'll see that people who live in Catalonia pay more income tax than in Madrid due to the composition of the autonomous community tax. Remember that amount that's set by the government is fixed, but the Madrid autonomous community applies less in the autonomous community tax than Catalonia does. Now, it's said that this income tax is automatically deducted from your payslip. However, in the following year, you will need to do your declaration for the previous year's income. So when we're in 2022, we will need to do a tax declaration on our incomes from 2021. The tax authorities in Spain will make your draft tax declaration available based on the information they have from you, and it will be filled out with any income and any taxes that have been withheld. What you'll then need to do is go through and fill in any missing information and make sure that the information they do have is correct. Something interesting to note here is that if you've only worked for one employer in a tax year and you've earned less than 22,000 euros, or if you've worked for multiple employers and you've earned less than 14,000 euros, then you don't have to do this tax declaration, which is called the Declaración de la Renta. Now that we've covered income tax, let's move on to social security. So again, this is another compulsory deduction which comes from your payslip. Your employer will pay the majority of your social security costs, but you will have to contribute a little bit from your pay as well. Social security in Spain is overseen by el Instituto Nacional de la Seguridad Social, or simply la Seguridad Social. And the social security oversees financial aid, so the likes of pensions, the likes of unemployment benefits, the likes of sickness pay, and public health care, all those kind of things. By paying into the system, you're eligible for public health care, you'll be eligible for unemployment aid if you've contributed for more than 1 year into the system. You'll also be eligible for the likes of sickness pay, all those kind of things. And once you've contributed 15 years into the system, you'll be eligible for a Spanish state pension as well. So what does that look like on your payslip? Well, you'll have several lines covering your social security contributions. You'll have one line which is called contingencias comunes, which is common contingencies, and that covers the likes of illness, maternity leave, and non-work related accidents. You'll have another line which covers desempleo, formación profesional y fogaso, and that essentially covers your unemployment contributions, any professional training that you want to go through. And then you may have a couple of other lines such as contingencias profesionales, which are professional contingencies. So if you have a work-related accident, if you become disabled at work, or if you, God forbid, die at work, then you'll be covered through your contributions to that. And you may also have a line for horas adicionales. So if you're a contracted worker and you work a set number of hours per week, then you may have a line where you pay social security on any additional time that you've worked. As I said earlier, your employer covers the majority of your social security costs, but there is an obligation for you to pay a little bit as well. In short, how this works is it will look at your annual compensation divided by 12 months, and it will use that as the basis to calculate a percentage on which you'll pay contingencias comunes and in unemployment and all the other things. At the time of doing this video, based on your annual income divided by 12, you'll pay 4.7% for contingencias comunes, and for unemployment, you'll pay 1.65%. I believe it was previously 1.55%, but I think it has gone up since. The reason this is calculated on your annual income divided by 12 is because in Spain, it's very common to have 14 pay periods. So in a lot of companies, you'll have two what are called pagas extras, so additional pays. And these normally come around the summer months and around Christmas. But on those extra pay slips that you get, you're not charged social security, you're only charged income tax. So I hope this has been a helpful introduction to income tax from an employee perspective. I'm hoping to do a video as well on what it's like when you're self-employed in Spain, and also how it works in the case of investing. In any case, do leave a comment, and why not tell me a bit about your experience working in Spain as well. Now check out these videos if you enjoyed this one, and if you're not yet subscribed and you want to see more content like this, then make sure you hit the subscribe button with the notification bell so that you don't miss a single update. I'll see you on the next one, and let's get this money.